So Owner-Operator Trucking OTR. If you want to know why I do it, look behind me. I mean, what other job has an office view that looks like this, that not only looks like this, but changes daily? So if you want to know some of the other reasons why I do it, stick around. So as you may be able to tell, from videos that I post or even from pictures if you follow me on Instagram, you can tell that I love seeing the United States. I love sightseeing. I love taking pictures, and I'm going to show you a few of those pictures as we talk. But the number one reason was to see the United States. And I was kind of, I was where a lot of people are, where a lot of people find themselves, in kind of a dead-end job and looking for something different. And I happened to run across a truck driver, and he was kind enough to take the time to talk with me. And looking back on it now with some knowledge of the industry, he was very honest with me, and I greatly appreciate that. I will forever be appreciative of that. So thank you very much. But the number one thing, definitely to see the United States. So shortly after I became a truck driver, I learned about number two, and number two was that I definitely wanted to own my own rig. I certainly always wanted to own my own business, and the more I learned about the trucking industry, the more I realized that I felt like this was a good fit for my business and what I wanted to pursue. So here we are about 7 years later, and I do finally own my own truck, and I own my own trailer, and that's as far as we've made it so far. But hey, we're working on the rest. If you were a trainer, I'm sure you could probably relate to this. All of your students talking about how they're gonna buy a truck one day, and they're gonna have a real nice Peterbilt, and it's gonna have stacks blowing smoke and rolling coal and all that good stuff. But if you are a trainer, comment down below and let me know, what do you think the percentage is of students that actually say that they're going to buy their own truck? Because I know the success rate, unfortunately, for truck drivers is actually extremely minimal. When I got into this industry, we had 23 people that started out the class that did not have a CDL, and then I don't remember the exact number, but the total was 65 people that had CDLs, didn't have CDLs, that went through my orientation class. Well, it was actually a CDL school, and then it was a refresher course. Well, only 22 of us graduated. After 6 months, only 2 of us were still at the company, and after 12 months, I was the last man standing. So the success rate is not very high in this industry. That's why you really got to research and dedicate yourself and learn the ins and outs, and ask all these guys that have been doing it for a long time. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And number three.
What you gonna do, Jerry? Show me the money!
That's right, baby. Show me the money. Yeah, if only it were that easy, right? Well, I'm a firm believer in following a blueprint. Don't be like Christopher Columbus, even though he really didn't discover the... Anyway, if you really want to maximize your potential and, really increase that learning curve, shorten that learning curve, I should say, find yourself a mentor and follow their blueprint, and then you will be yelling, "Show me the money," all the way to the bank. And number four, I really wanted to be my own boss. A lot of people dream of that. That's the American dream. To be your own boss, not to have to answer to anyone. A lot of people have this notion that you get to wake up whenever you want, and work whenever you want, and play whenever you want. Those notions are nice, but they're definitely just notions. The be your own boss thing, I don't have a problem with authority or anything like that, but I just didn't want anyone, I didn't want to have to answer to anyone. So you know, I wanted to be in control of my destiny. I wanted to make those decisions. I didn't want to have someone else make those decisions for me. Be my own boss was certainly high priority on my list. All right, so we're running out of daylight here very soon. My poor Canon's just not gonna be able to keep up, even though it does a wonderful job. So stick around, we're gonna cruise down the road. We're gonna find a really nice spot to wrap up this list. Mañana for me in like 20 seconds for you. All right, so we're ready to rock and roll, and we're gonna put down some miles. We're gonna stop somewhere in western Nebraska, so let's do that. And like I said, roughly 20 seconds. That clock's already been counting. And number 5, and this is going to wrap up my list, you know, I really wanted to create something. I wanted to build something. And, you know, what better thing to build than a business? You know, it's there's obviously so many benefits to that, but it's one of the more difficult things to do. The success rate is not very high in building a business. So I've always wanted to create something. I wanted to create something that was larger than myself and hopefully impactful. So that was another reason why I wanted to, you know, get into trucking but become an owner operator, you know, and I happen to be over the road. So that's gonna wrap up my list. Those are the things that I thought about when thinking about this leap, or kind of looking down my career path and seeing which way that I wanted to go. Those are the things that I considered. You know, some other things that maybe I didn't consider, but looking back at, you know, maybe when I was a newbie or when I was a company driver, you know, some other things to consider on this list, you know, one of them is definitely versatility. The versatility is huge. You can operate your truck however you want to. You can be a local driver. You can be a 4-day-a-week local driver, and then you know, a regional guy. You can be a complete regional guy. You get the idea. I don't need to go any further, but the possibilities are almost limitless as far as what you can do, how you can operate your company, you know, being a true owner-operator. Number 7 is going to be the accelerated career path. There's very few other career paths that you can progress so quickly. I've got a friend of mine, and he started at Landstar at almost exactly his 1-year anniversary date. And that, I mean, obviously buying his own truck. He's not working for anyone else. So that was, gosh, I forget how long ago that was. He's been there a while though. I forget how long ago that was. He's been there a little while, but now he too owns his own trailer. So, you know, the career path is incredible, and you know, not everybody can take that career path because not everybody has the same set of skills. Namely being the financial, you know, the financial side of things. But you know, the opportunity is there if you can take advantage of it, if you're in the right position to take advantage of it. But even if you're not going to own your own truck inside of a year, you know, you can still do it extremely quickly. Totally lost my train of thought, went so far out in left field that I can't even see the stadium anymore. So I guess we'll just wrap it up here. You guys stay driven. This is gonna wrap up my wrist. Wrap up my wrist. That's kinky. Really? Think. You know, can anybody make that bitter beer face? Y'all remember that old man that did that bitter beer face commercial, where his I want to say his cheeks were all sucked in. I can't do it. Can anybody do that? And number 7, I just forgot. Really? We were doing good too. We were doing good. It went downhill extremely quickly. But as always, I'm gonna have to edit that out. Lots on my brain. If I feel that mark while I'm driving, I'm going to be very upset with myself. See, it doesn't even take brain cells to be a truck driver half the time. Probably the majority of the time. That's benefit number 8. But that was the golden bonus that you had to stick around to catch. Ha ha!
Congratulations, you're still my agent.